Bill, would you tell us a little bit about the trees that you have here? We're about how high above Santa Cruz?
We're about 750,
Okay.
800 feet elevation.
Okay.
And we're about maybe 6 miles as the crow flies from the coast.
Okay. And so what kind of trees do you have here?
I got a mix of just about everything. I've got peaches, Fuji apples, Bartlett pears, apricots, nectarines,
Okay.
avocados.
And then we're looking at this tree here in particular. What's going on with it?
This is a Fuji apple that's being affected by a lack of winter chill. It's just starting to leaf out. Normally it would have leafed out and bloomed a month ago, but as you can see, it's really weak. There's a couple little tiny blooms on it. This is the first time it's ever not had a good crop on it. And then behind it you've got Bartlett pear. There's almost no pears. This is my second year in a row of no pears. It's also my second year in a row of really warm winters.
And is that consistent with all the pear trees that you grow?
Yeah, there's not more than a box of pears out of hundreds of trees here.
Wow. And then you say you have some avocados as well?
Yes, I do, and they're doing really well.
Ah.
They've done really well the last couple of years.
Okay, and do you see a connection between climate change, possible climate change, and the avocados doing well?
Yes, I do, and I'm kind of embracing that idea. We're planning on planting an acre of avocados and some lemons and some fruits that do really well and farther south of here. Well, I think the most important thing with the pears is there's two things that are really important, not just one. The first thing is you need to have an adequate of winter chill below 44 degrees. We need to have 600-800 hours. We only had about maybe 350 hours. And so what happened was the trees, instead of blooming, they just barely were able to leaf out. And then the other thing is fire blight. The people that did get pears, all their late pears were hit by fire blight really bad because we had warm weather during their rat tail bloom period, after the primary bloom. So my pears are really in bad shape here, but the pears are in the Delta, at least they have pears.
Okay, and can you explain briefly what is fire blight?
It's what it is it's a disease that gets in through the flower, and it actually kills the branch. And if the weather is warm enough, and the fire blight bacteria keep going, then you can end up with dead branches and dead trees. The younger the tree, the healthier the tree, the faster it dies.
Wow. The
older trees, you usually it doesn't get into the large wood as quickly, and you can have a chance. You can cut it out. We do all kinds of treatments. We do beneficial bacteria. We put copper on the trees. In a way, I'm kind of glad that my pears didn't bloom very much this year, because what would have happened is I would have had a lot more fire blight. As it is, there's no pears.
Because it affects the blossom.
It affects the blossom, so
okay.
In a way it was kind of a beneficial defect.
Can you show us an example of fire blight? What it looks like?
Yeah, pears are on seedling rootstock. Basically, apples are they'll run a little bit and you'll be able to break it off. But pears, it can run all the way down the branch. One time I don't know, it was in '98. I had every single bloom and every single tree got fire blight, and I cut off all all the side, spurs and little side branches that were getting blight, and left the trees with only the main leaders, the main branches, and started all the trees over again. You wouldn't have that ever happen on apples.
Wow.
There's some varieties that are also more susceptible. There's only in apples, Pink Lady and Gala are pretty susceptible. My friends in Watsonville have fire blight really on their apples for the first time, but and I saw it quite a bit in the valley as well. And this is all a problem with having a scatter bloom. Your trees are more susceptible for a longer period of time. Normal bloom, like you have in the Northwest, goes on for about 10 days. But when you have global warming, I mean when you have lack of winter chill, you can have your bloom go on for a month. So your trees are susceptible to fire blight exposure for a whole month. So how are you going to protect for that?
Okay.
You can't. That only requires about 250 hours of chill. That's probably the least chill required tree in the whole orchard. And it's got fruit on it. It looks pretty good. But who would think that you had to have a low chill peach to be able to grow peaches? Okay. The tree to the right there, the other green lush thing is maybe about a 400 hour, and that one looks okay. But I want to show you some trees out in the orchard that are really sick.
Okay.
They're older fashioned varieties, and they require 500, 600, 700 hours, and you'll see the difference between the low chill peaches and the high chill. So there you go. You got the two that don't need any chilling, and they look good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go look at some bad ones. A long time ago, this tree broke in half. There was only one branch here.
Yeah.
And so my wife said, just get rid of it, yank it out. Okay, so I had some suckers come out and I trained them.
Yeah.
You know, trained those up that way and this up that way.
Uh-huh.
And now this tree has never put out really much fruit before, and now it's got, look,
Oh yeah.
loaded. Yeah. Okay, so here's a bad peach. A really bad one right here. This is not even leafing out yet. It's almost June. And there was a couple of blooms on it, but it's refusing to leaf out. It's got all kinds of different sizes. See, when you have this size and you have this size, it shows that your bloom period was going on for a really long time.
Yeah.
And so this tree is looking really sick just because of the lack of chill. This one here, I thinned it when it was the peaches were about this size.
Yeah.
And I took off all the little stuff and just saved the big stuff. This looks a little better. This might be okay.
Yeah.
But look at how see how it's got the little fruits at the top?
Yeah.
And it's not even leafing out, and it's just, it looks to me like it might make it in a strange way.
Yeah.
You know, look at no leaf at the top, little tiny peaches up there that are falling off. And
so this is an apricot there, right?
Yeah, let me show you a good apricot here. But it's still got...
Wait, well, now we need to start up again. So these are apricot trees, and this one looks pretty good.
Yeah, that one's not too bad either.
And what variety is this?
This is a tomcat. Yeah. And this is a tomcat.
Okay, so they're doing all right?
Yeah.
So meaning they don't need as many chill hours?
No.
Okay.
And this is a blenheim right here, but it didn't bloom very much. But that looks pretty good, and this looks pretty good.
Okay.
Let me show you another Fuji. This is a really weird thing. Try not to show all these gophers. Anyway, here we go. Look at this Fuji. It's just starting to bloom now. This is goofy.
That is, and it's end of May. This is ridiculous.
Yeah. And look at, you got a couple apples on the tree up here. Look.
Yeah.
A couple of big apples. You got that apple, you got a couple here, but you got blooming, and how are you gonna, this is not gonna work.
So Bill, let me ask you this. What does this mean for the future of apple growing here in Santa Cruz?
You know, I don't have the crystal ball
Of
shined
course.
up. I hope it goes back to where it was before. I don't really want to go to do avocados and lemons. That's crazy. I've grown apples my whole life, you know,
Yeah.
and I love it.
Yeah.
And I like apricots, and I like stone fruits. I don't want to have to go that way. Although it might be easier, you know. Why try to buck the tide if it's not going to get cold anymore?
Some scientists have predicted that global warming is with us.
Yeah.
So, of course, nobody knows what the future holds, but if the scientific predictions come to pass, then this is the new normal.
Oh, God. Well, then let's go look at the new normal. I've got some avocados and some lemons that look really good. Let me tell you, this year, for the first time, my mandarin oranges tasted good.
Huh?
They never tasted good before. They always were insipid. They
Yeah.
always didn't have the sugar. And this year, everybody loved them. They said, "Why don't you grow those?" And I said, "Wait a minute. I was going to rip that tree out because
Yeah.
it never tasted good."
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm a little confused.
How many more years of this weird winter weather will it take for you to change your operation, your way of growing fruit and perhaps the varieties?
In
perhaps
this
different-
climate.
Yes.
In this climate. Well, I'm going to start by doing avocados on a kind of a frost-free spot right up over this hill here.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with some lemons since they've done really well the last couple. Actually, they've done well even before the climate change.
Uh-huh.
So I'm going to get a little bit going this next year. But as far as changing my whole idea, I don't know. I'm going to wait probably a couple years for that, I guess.
Okay. Comparison between Santa Cruz and, say, the Valley and Washington and even Chile. You have experience in all those areas far away from here. Do you see similarities? Are there big differences?
Yeah, I would say that for growing apples and growing peaches, I think that the coast here it's starting to turn out to be the wrong place. I think Central Valley's fine with peaches and nectarines and seems okay with apples when you don't get bad fire blight. And I think they don't grow too many apples or peaches near the coast in Chile. They grow them in the valley, just like maybe that's the better place, you know.
Huh.
Central Valley here, Central Valley Chile.
Okay.
Washington is a great place for growing apples because they get a bloom that's compact. It doesn't go on forever. You don't see this weird thing of you got softball-sized fruit and marble-sized fruit on the same tree. It never happens up there.
Ah.
So maybe we should just let them grow the apples. Here's a rat tail bloom, and it makes these really long stemmed, funny-looking pears. Here's what they do. See?
Yeah.
But that's not production. It doesn't work. This is lack of winter chill. You can see there's actually a couple of normal pears up there. I don't know how that happened, but do you see those pears up in the top?
Yeah.
But the rest of it is, we're almost June, and all we get for a bloom is this kind of junk, you know, with a couple of pears here and there. This is like I said, the second year in a row of crop failure on these pears. This is an avocado. It's either a reed or a Haas.
Haas.
But it was loaded. I picked everything that I could reach, and I just keep eating avocados all the time.
You climb up there?
Yeah, I climb up there.
Okay.
But if you look up in there, you can see there's a bunch of them up there. I haven't really picked it.
Come on in here.
Here, check this out. Up in there.
There.
Yeah, right up in there. Yeah. There's one. You want an avocado? There you go. It's still ripe and good.